Any woman who wins any sport should be considered trans until proved otherwise. Period. This is such a weird take because we're not even moving into trans erasure anymore. This post is just straight up erasure for the whole of womankind. Special thanks to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. As you might have noticed, my war paint is darker. I ordered some new war paint because the stuff I was using had run out, and because the stuff I was using was so old, I couldn't find that color anymore. I ordered the closest thing I could find on Amazon, and it's really, really dark. It looks a lot lighter on the palette and on Amazon, but in person, real dark. Don't know what's up with that. We'll just have to live with that. Today we are looking at AreTheCisOk, which is like r/AreTheStraightsOk, but for cisgender people. Also, apologies in advance if there is any noise in the background throughout this video. We're currently going through another heat wave here in like the South UK. It's way too hot for me to close my window. It's even too hot right now with my window open. I'm absolutely sweating. So there may be noise in the background because every weekend my neighbors play sports down in the field down the road, and they get way too excited about absolutely anything that happens in their game and yell at the top of their lungs. So apologies if there's noise. Let's take a look at the subreddit. I don't consider Elliot Page a transgender. He is a straight white male for me. Are you dumb or something? Definitely not as you. At least I'm smart enough to know the difference between sexuality and gender. 1. A transgender is incorrect. It's either trans man or trans woman. 2. Your gender is not sexuality. 3. No, duh, he's literally there and white. 4. Can't argue with the last one. Not mad, by the way. He is not a trans man or a trans woman. He is a straight white male. Elliot is literally a female to male role model, and it's one of the reasons I realized I was a trans man. Are you sure you understand how being trans works? It's gotta be one of the most like gender reaffirming things for a trans person when people are actively trying to misgender you and fail. Like, I don't know, obviously it's not great that you have people actively trying to misgender people, but the fact that they fail at it is quite funny. It's one of those accidental ally things. I've done multiple videos on accidental allies. I just find it funny. This comic it's bizarre. The idea that trans people are just doing it for attention doesn't make sense. And also, when a trans person dies, they're not going to be buried as their birth name. If someone legally changes their name and they die, they're not going to be buried as their birth name. They've changed their name legally. That's how it works. But they're not after attention. Ultimately, trans people want to be unnoticed. That's the whole point, right? They don't want to walk out into the street and everyone go, wow, you're trans. They want to walk out into the street and just be addressed as though they are the gender that they feel they are. They aren't after attention. In fact, they want the opposite of attention because attention draws violence. Trans people get murdered for being trans. They get assaulted for being trans. There is such an issue with hate crime. They don't want attention. A trans man just wants people to see them as a man. That's all they want. A trans woman just wants people to see them as a woman. They don't care about attention for it. Your daily reminder that if trans women are women was true, the corollary mantra women are trans women would equally be true. What? How? This is such a huge failing of logic. I have a proposal to just prove how dumb this is, and a few other examples, okay? Black women are women, okay? All black women are women, but not all women are black women. White women are women, but not all women are white women. Trans women are women, but not all women are trans women. This applies for so many things. It applies for trans men too. Okay, I have another example of this because this logic makes no sense, okay? I'm gonna go into non-human things things, okay? All golden retrievers are dogs, but not all dogs are golden retrievers. All fruits are vegetables, but not all vegetables are fruits. All cars are vehicles, but not all vehicles are cars. See how the logic makes no sense? American men need to stop embracing soy and start embracing testosterone. I was at a local restaurant and a young male worker was taking an order. The customer asked how the chicken was in the salad, and the young male said, "I have never eaten a piece of meat. My parents raised me vegan." And I realized he ate soy, and that means estrogen. He is a girl. How can the same group of people that talk about how transitioning into a woman does not make you a woman, transitioning into a man does not make you a man, and then they'll be like, yo, but real talk, if you eat soy, you're a woman. Also, medically proven that eating soy doesn't have the effects that they claim it has. It just doesn't. And if it did, trans women would have it so much easier if they could just eat soy, right? But it doesn't do that. It doesn't have that effect. That's pseudoscience nonsense. Meanwhile, in California, "Mom, I got stung by a bee." "No, you got stung by a fish, and I'm not your mom. I'm your birthing person, son." This... oh, okay. It's the one joke, but it's kind of going beyond the one joke at this point, because this whole sentence strung together is just word salad. They were just like, they had a dictionary, they closed their eyes, and they went, "Bap, that bee is now a fish. Birthing people, we can say that because it was said once and we think it's stupid." I'm losing my mind. I'm actually losing my mind. Being driven to insanity by cis people. Trans women be like, "I'm a wooden chair, just like you now." I kind of enjoy the thought that they probably didn't add the word wooden originally. They changed it to a chair and then went, "Oh wait, but it actually is a chair." But the analogy falls flat because it's still a chair. And there was a really good comment to this post on Reddit that someone posted that I'm gonna read out that says, no, like they just proved you could make a table into a chair. That was the point. They're both chairs. Not all chairs are the same. A stone chair and a wooden chair and a plastic chair are all chairs. Just like trans women, cis women, white women, black women, queer women, straight women are all women. Yeah, that table is a chair. Congratulations! Your analogy is bad. You don't even understand who trans men are, do you? I know precisely what they are. I'll make it easy for you since you have a master's degree. I know it's hard to muster common sense and critical thinking for you folk. Garage, not a car. Female suit, not a woman. First of all, buddy, they said you don't understand who trans men are, and you made a post about women. Second of all, they have just systematically drawn their own diagram proving that it is not the body you are in that defines your gender. So what you're saying, based on this diagram, that being in the body of a woman doesn't make you a woman, it's what inside that matters? It's funny because trans people have been saying that for literal years. That's their whole argument, is that inside, a trans woman is a woman. They're changing their body to match what's inside. The same with trans men. That's their whole argument. And you just drew a diagram explaining that, trying to prove the opposite. Colors, an LGBT community center in Fairview Park, opened up a week ago. Today they found their office vandalized and smashed. Ohio is trying to medically detransition all trans youth. This terrorism is a second prong of an attack sanctioned by elected officials. I don't even have anything to say about that. Everything about this is awful. The fact that Ohio is trying to medically detransition all trans youth, the fact that an LGBT space was vandalized, and that probably nothing's going to be done about this attack, no one's going to be prosecuted, just all of this. Oh boy, America is really going backwards at the moment, like decades backwards, centuries backwards even. It's kind of insane. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that, really. Trans man's skull fractured and 2 more hospitalized in terrifying attack after Dublin Pride. Trans man? So, a woman was attacked? But because of his, I'm not even gonna say that word, nonsense, that gets minimized. Bravo. First of all, they're not a woman, they're a trans man. But second of all, regardless of their gender, someone had their skull cracked, and that is bad. It's no worse if it's a woman than a man. The argument doesn't matter. That's not the point of the article. The point of the article is that one person had their skull fractured and 2 more were hospitalized. The gender doesn't matter here. It's a hate crime regardless. I don't understand how someone can read an article about a hate crime. Someone has their skull cracked in and goes, but actually their gender is not the gender that they say it is. Who cares? Genders are like the Twin Towers. There used to be 2 of them, and now it's a really sensitive subject. And then from the same person, they can't even get their memes right. People that don't have a mental disorder, so it's... So, they've labeled men and women as mental disorders, and people who don't have mental disorders are tearing down the gender norms. They can't even make their own memes. Their memes are the opposite of the point they're trying to put across. But also, there have never just been 2 genders. I have gone into this in so many videos in the past. If you're curious, watch any of my AreTheStraightsOk videos and Accidental Ally videos, because I've gone into it in depth in multiple videos. There have always been cultures throughout the world for millennia that have had extra genders. Native Americans have had extra genders. Some Native American cultures have had up to like 5 genders. Hawaiian culture, like Polynesian culture. Throughout the world, cultures have had extra genders, and they're still represented in what little of those cultures are left after colonialism. But there are still people that represent those extra genders in their cultures. There have always been extra genders. Happy Pride Month! Companies on June 1st. The LGBT community. You added a rainbow. They missed the T in LGBT there. And you might say like, oh, maybe it was just an accident. It's a harmless accident. They aren't trying to erase trans people from LGBT or anything. And I thought that this could be the case, that it was just an accident, it was a typo. So I did the courtesy of looking at their profile, and oh boy, LGB. I personally don't see myself as a part of the LGBTQIA+. I do feel kinship with the LGB folks. Yeah, this last one's my favorite because the post they specifically reference mentions LGBTQ+ in the tweet that they are referencing, and they still go out of their way to erase anything that isn't LGB when posting about this. If you are trying to erase trans people and more from the community, you are not welcome in the community. I want to make that damn well clear that if you are gay or bi and you still try to erase trans people from the community, you are not welcome in the community. Trans erasure is the opposite of what Pride stands for. It's the opposite of what all of this is about. Trans people are responsible for a huge part of the rights in the LGBTQ+ community. If you look at any of the protests and fights for LGBT rights in the past, trans people fought tooth and nail alongside gay, bi, and other people. If you look at Stonewall, it was a trans person that threw the first stone. They have fought so hard for the rights of not just themselves, but the rights of gay, bi, and everything else. They fight so hard for that. And the fact that there are LGB people that try and erase that from history and try and say that that's not a part of the community is gross. It's so gross, and they are not welcome in these spaces. If you try and erase trans people from LGBT, you are not welcome in Pride spaces. I'm saying that straight up, laying that down. I don't care. That might be a controversial opinion. It shouldn't be, but if it is, so be it. If you erase trans people from LGBT, you are not part of Pride. You are doing the opposite. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. Oh boy, I am really warm. If you want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click that join button to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. Special thank you to Nix, Holly Miller, Kaori-Ann Mori, Chase Howard, Karen Duca, Top Shelf, Elle, Rennie, Dev, Thomas Penny, Emily Potter, Greyhound, Maxine Lankow, Gravity Gaia, Kelly Bock, Lucky Socks, Carolyn, The Angry Potato, Sven Arctic Fox, Outcast Jupiter, Abel Eros Winchester, Ghost Orchid, Charlie the Mad 256, Kate Cat, The Wings of Ruin, Two Lakes in a Valley, Ika Limchok, AretheStraightsOk, and Agent, Galaxy, Ronnie, Tam, Bug, ToxyRain, Salted Denim, and Poet Blanderson for supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.